Alrighty then, it's time for a Platinum Amumu game. Though it's kind of like Diamond opponents, so it's kind of like a Platinum Diamond game kind of sort of mix. Either way, Amumu hasn't had a game in several months. So it's about time we gave him one. Runes and Masteries. Attack Speed Red, though I actually wanted Magic Pan Red, I just didn't have him set up. Arbor Yellow, Magic Resistance Blue, Scaling, and Ability... No wait, not Ability Power. Movement Seed Quints. My masteries were, I believe, 6, 21, and 3. 3 mobility in the utility tree. Now here's a very important scene right here. See how Rise is positioned. I slowed it down for this. Rise is so close to the enemy turret, and he's such a high area where the Jarvan can just sneak up from behind. So I go straight for the bush. I don't go around it because I knew the minions couldn't see me from here. And voila, there's the Jarvan. I attacked him a little way too early, so I exposed myself. But still, I knew Jarvan would be coming because Rise was putting himself in such a dangerous situation, and I went off and prevented Rise from being killed. Same situation, actually. Same mirrored situation. The enemy Aatrox is so pushed that hell, anyone could just walk up to him and gank him. So easy peasy, forces escape out, and we jump on him, dead Aatrox. That was quite simple. Hell, anyone could have ganked him, but Shyvana could have ganked this Aatrox at that point. If you push out so far right there, especially with your back to a corner, or your back to a line of sight efficient area, you're gonna get fucked. The Rise couldn't see Jarvan even if he had started leaving the bush, just because of how he was angled. Nonetheless, this Aatrox still hasn't warded, so it makes ganking him so much easier. Remember, he's got no escapes anymore, so as soon as Aurelia forces out his Q, he'd be easy peasy to kill, whatever. I was mumbling right there. My teammate Rise, though, despite not being ganked, and despite apparently Rise having an advantage over a Fizz pick, he is losing quite considerably so. Now, before anyone asks, Stonewall, why didn't you go Spirit of the Ancient Golem? Spirit of the Ancient Golem is a bad item on champions who fucking annihilate camps. I mean, like, it's not a bad item, because, the health thing later in the game would still be nice and all that good stuff. But when it comes to clearing, Amumu grinds camps so quickly, he doesn't really get to use that passive to its full effectiveness. So Bind Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, I just grind camps down. Same thing here, by the way. The enemy Aatrox just has no chance of escaping. His Q was forced out by the Aurelia, and his Flash was forced out by us because he tried to escape. Here, though, this is a fun part. I see that Jarvan's nearby here, so I don't go away immediately. I have my ultimate, so I could CC lock him and we could deal a lot of damage. Here, though, ambush gank him, deal some free damage on him, and he fills his EQ. He tried to do a very long EQ and just failed. So, same here, combo him down. I deal damage as much as I could, then I used my Q. You can rewind it if you see it. I used my Q as soon as he was, with it a little bit too far from me in an angle where I'd lose line of sight from him. Slingshot myself at him, and did more damage. Got in front of him, and then used my ultimate before he probably had his cooldowns off, or before he had interest in using his flash, so I could do even more damage. So, keep watching that, because my cooldown's running out again, and I'm catching the Jarvan once more. I do something similar again. I go right up to him and start dealing damage, right? When it looks like I'll lose line of sight of him, I cue myself towards him. So I don't lose any advantage right there. And I put myself in a way in which either his EQ or his flash would still be in range of my ultimate. So once again, I killed the Jarvan in the same means. Rewind it again if you need to see that. I used my gap closer, the skill shot gap closer, as soon as I lost line of sight of him. If it was a targeted spell, I wouldn't have been able to use it at all. So that I'd have to either drop a ward in that bush, or use my targeted spell prior to him having entered the bush. So keep that in mind. That's how you use skill shots effectively. Especially skill shots that are combined with gap closers, like Pantheon, well, not Pantheon, like Malphite's ultimate or whatnot. Use it to angle yourself into a place where you no longer see them, and never lose a second of damage. I mean, if I could, my entire video would be revolving around that one scene. It's a very important scene. Hell, I might even make a video dedicated to that later on, but still. Once again, catch the Morgana and get her killed. We've gained such an advantage right now. We get Dragon P easy, and then the Ezreal is doing this white camp, so I decide to go right after him. I aim for the white camp though because this Ezreal is just, you know, like going everywhere and whatnot. I missed my ultimate on him, but I flash over because I know I have the damage to kill him, and my Q is coming off cooldown very soon. He still had his flash though, and I didn't know that, but Lucian was able there to pick up the kill, and we gunned him down. Right now, my team has a massive kill lead. However, the enemy Fizz has 5 kills because our Ryze isn't doing so hot. Hell, you see, Ryze just died yet again. Fortunately for us, their gold is allocated on just the Fizz, so if we can kill the Fizz or keep him in check, it's like they don't even have any kills. A lot of the kills are allocated on me, sure, but I am a fucking massive grenade right now. I built myself a bit damage, and I'm starting to build myself tanky. So, Holy Hand Grenade and Amumu still, I can wreck shit, I can do a lot of damage, and, you know, even if it's all allocated on me, we'll still get some good power out of it. It won't be wasted power, as I'm trying to say. Next item, I'm building a Sunfire Cape, so I can mix a little bit of the tankiness with a bit of the damage. Now let's go about this. I'm just here to protect the Ryze, and the enemy team is kind of, you know, in disarray right now. The Jarvan has been put in his grave. The Aatrox hasn't really been able to get anywhere. He's pretty much dead weight. So my team is being advised, let's just group up and start beating them, and I agree. At this point, my team fighting potential with my ultimate initiation is way too strong. So all we need to do is catch one person off guard and kill them. Unfortunately, the Fizz catches the Thresh, and we sort of, you know, attack them in response. I can't use my ultimate until I get at least a Fizz in it, or the majority of the enemy team. There, Aatrox and Jarvan get caught. Jarvan's forced off. The Fizz kind of just walks in nonchalant and gets destroyed. I flash out of Jarvan's ultimate, and he gets himself killed. So there, 4 of them are dead, but we're pretty fucked up there, so we can't really, you know, push. We at least got Dragon. Perfect here. Also, you know, people have been asking, you know, with the rise in tank junglers, would Amumu be a good choice? And unfortunately, he would not be. The thing about all these popular jungle picks right now is that they have peeling potential, and Amumu's pretty fucking bad at peeling. He's really strong at initiation, you know, Q, slingshot, and then ultimate the entire enemy team, reducing their magic resistance and just causing, you know, chaos and shit, and forcing out their escapes immediately. But after that, he really doesn't have much. Tanks like Maokai get to spam their Q forever. They get to completely reposition themselves without, you know, worrying about body blocking the slingshot. And he's got that ultimate where he just, you know, annihilates the enemy team. I mean, annihilates the enemy team's damage by protecting his members with 20% damage reduction. Alistar's got his unkillable ultimate and his knockback, his weird-ass initiation that does not require, you know, an ultimate cooldown. I mean, Alistar can, you know, can WQ somebody, and that's the initiation, or flash Q and whatever, and he can do that whenever he wants instead of having to wait for the long cooldown of Amumu's ultimate, that's one of the biggest flaws with Amumu right now. His ultimate cooldown is very restrictive. And then you've got Nautilus, who of course has, you know, 4 forms of crowd control, who can peel, who can initiate, and whatever. So I just don't think Amumu is cut out for this right now. Like, he's a very strong initiator, but again, he doesn't have the peeling potential. He doesn't have the cooldowns for this jungle phase. So, in my personal opinion, he's not gonna shine here. He could be a pick, you know, if you need an initiator and you've got a awesome follow-up from other champions. Yeah, but he can't lane. He can't lane compared to Amumu, or I mean not Amumu, Maokai or Gragas or even Alistar at this point. And in the jungle, you kind of are they're going for more the supportive champions than being built tank, like Amumu, who's a support champion, as being built as a tank, or an Elise being built as a tank, or whatever. So he's just not finding his place right now. Nonetheless, he's very strong for solo queue. As you can see him annihilate camps and then initiate like a boss and just melt champions if you build him AP. So he's definitely got his place in solo queue, and he's probably one of the better quote-unquote tanks that you can pick. Now, here we go. We killed Aatrox, we scared him off, and my team wants to go for Baron. But I don't feel comfortable ever doing Baron if the enemy jungler is alive, or if they have full engage. And unfortunately, my Baron gets stolen. I initiate on the enemy team, just flashing over, dealing the damage, and then I use my Q. Still, though, even though I hit my Q in the Ezreal, he got off his E appropriate at the appropriate time and managed to escape. Yeah, even though we got our Nexus stolen, the enemy team lost, I mean, not a Nexus, or Baron stolen, they lost 2 Nexus turrets, and their Nexus is wide open for attack. So, in the end, it's still not a good thing. I mean, it's still a good thing for us. The enemy team wasn't able to defend their Nexus, and they're in the dire straits right now. So, I hope you saw one thing. I initiated with a flash ultimate and then used my bandage toss. That's one way to CC locking a person. Because if you start off with a bandage toss, especially if they have Mercury treads, they might have a chance to blink out of the ultimate or reposition themselves in a way in which you might not be able to, to get to them. But with a surprise flash ultimate, you keep them locked in enough so your Q can lock them up even further. This ultimate here is not that great. I didn't catch the Ezreal. But fortunately for us, my team is so strong, the Fizz and the Aatrox just get melted. Jarvan's death follows up soon, and then the rest of them are forced to run away. They're not able to fight us off, so the Nexus being wide open is just clear for the taking. I really like this game, and it showcased a lot of important things that you guys could learn. So give it a like just for all that educational value you got out of this. And hooray for Amumu.